Cool. Hey everybody, welcome. Robert Wolfert here. Welcome again to an episode of Random Linux Tools Explained. Today I want to talk about Linux command line tools and randomly chosen Linux command line tools. As always, I want to talk about command line tools you can use for your day-to-day work at the Linux command line. As always, these command line tools are taken from the shell toolbox and they are randomly chosen, and I'm not prepared at all. This is my challenge here. I'm not prepared at all. I will start a script within a few seconds, and this script will randomly choose one single command line tool, and then I want to explain what you can use this tool for, how can you use this tool, and if there are some tips, tricks, informations around this tool from my experience worth mentioning. Okay, let's start directly with sharing my screen. Oh, I see there is someone texting me. Okay, so let's start with sharing my screen. Here we are, and here is the tools repository, and let's have a look what the tool is that is the winner for today, for this episode. Let's start the script choose tool. Mixing the tools, wait a few seconds, and the winner is which. Okay, the winner is which. So let's talk about which. Okay, let's talk about which. As you may know, if you want to start a command, if you want to start a command, you know how to start a command, yeah? Don't you? You start a command simply by typing in the command line, echo hello world, for instance, and then you have here the first word at the command line, and this first word at the command line is the command. And now the shell has to search for a command to run. Yeah, and first the shell has a look if this command is perhaps a shell built-in. A tool, a command, the shell already knows by itself. Yeah, so you can use the command type for getting the information if a tool is a shell built-in. Yeah, for instance, let's have a look at the echo tool, and the echo tool, as you see, is a shell built-in. So if you call this command line echo hello world, the shell already knows what to do, just printing out hello and world, and that was it. Okay, if a tool, the command, isn't a shell built-in, isn't known as a shell built-in, then the shell looks if there is an alias defined with this name. An alias can be defined on the fly. Let's take an alias as an on-the-fly defined shell built-in. Yeah. So as an example, let's say I want to have a shell built-in, a new shell built-in called hello. And if I type in hello, then I want to run this command, hello Robert, for instance. So now I have an alias defined. Type shows me that hello is an alias. Yeah, hello is alias to echo hello Robert, and as soon as I type in hello, then echo hello Robert will be started by a shell. Great. Okay, so if a command is not a shell built-in, and if a command is not an alias, then perhaps the command is a function. Let's have a look. Do we have a function here? I think so. The function quote, for instance, type quote. Yes, this is a function. And a function can be used as just like a normal command. Yeah, and let's take a function for now as an alias on steroids. Yeah, so you have an alias, and you can have an alias consisting of more than one single command line with some logic added, with loops added, for instance, and these functions can even get command line or can even accept command line parameters. Yeah, so a function is an alias on steroids. So you can have a shell built in, you can have an alias, and you can have, or you can have a function. And if the command is neither an alias nor a function and also not a shell built in, then the shell has to search for the command. Yeah? For instance, let's say I want to use the command passvd to change my password. Yeah, I want to change my password. And password is not a shell built in and not an alias and not a function. So the shell has to search, and the shell only searches within a predefined list of paths, within a predefined list of directories, and these predefined list of directories is stored within the variable path. So path contains a list, a colon separated list of directories, and only within these directories the shell searches for an executable file with the name. So let's say I type in passvd, yeah, then the shell goes into home robot bin if there is a binary, an executable file called passvd. If not, the shell goes to the next directory. If not, the shell goes to the next directory, and so on. And then the shell runs this command if the shell finds an executable file. And if you want to know where this file is located, you can simply use the which command. Which is a shell built in, yeah, and which is a command that can be used for finding an executable file within this list of predefined directories. Yeah, so which passvd shows me that passvd is located within user bin passvd. So the shell will search here, 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 and again, and then within this directory, oh, sorry, no drag and drop here. Yeah, within this directory, the shell will find the passvd command, and then it will start for me. Yeah, we can simply use the type command for this too. Yeah, type passvd shows me passvd is user bin passvd. Yeah. It's the same as calling which as a result. You see where an executable file is located. Yeah. So if I call passvd is started by the shell. Let's terminate this. I don't want to change my password now. And now if I call type passvd again, then I get a message passvd is hashed as user bin passvd. That means that the shell not every time searches again and again for an executable file, only the first time, and then the shell remembers the location of an executable file. Yeah? So if I start the command passvd the first time, then the shell really searches the whole path. If I call the passvd command the second time, then the shell already knows that the command is located within a distinct directory. And you need to know, if you are working on a Linux system, that the shell only and really only searches within this list of predefined paths for an executable file. Nowhere else. This is a security feature. Yeah. So if I, for instance, let's have a look which ls. The command ls is located within the bin directory. And now let's create a copy. Let's create a copy of this executable file. Let's create a copy of this executable file within the current directory. This is the directory, my home directory. Yeah. So let's say I want to copy bin ls to home Robert. Let's write a whole directory name here. Yeah, and let's call the file, the executable file, the copy list. Okay, so now let's have a look. ls, within the current directory, there is an executable file called list. And within the current directory, there is an executable file called hello.sh. I see that these two files are executable files just because the ls command here colors them green. Yeah. If I would have a look at the output of ls-l, let me show you, or let me have a look at the details, then we will see hello.sh, for instance, is a regular file, starts with an dash here and has the executable flag set, and the same with the list command, with the copy of the ls command here, a regular file, and this is executable. So now let's try to run this executable file list here. Let's try to run list. How can we do this? Just type in list and hit enter, and then command not found. Yeah, we have some voodoo here. this voodoo comes from the shell, so the shell searches within the software repositories is if there is something similar like list, f list, k list, and so on. And then the last message here is list command not found. So why command not found? I see the list command here in the executable file. Yeah, just because we've talked about this some seconds ago. The shell only searches within this predefined list of directories and nowhere else. So the shell doesn't search within the current directory for an executable file. If you are coming from a Windows system and you're in the DOS box, and within the DOS box you see within the current directory an executable file, an exe file for instance, and you start this, you don't need to worry that the shell won't find it. Yeah, but on a Linux system, the shell only searches for executable file within the current directory. Yeah, and this is a security feature to not call or run a command you don't want to run. Yeah. If you want to run a command from a different directory, from a directory different than these directories here in this list, you just need to give the directory the complete path for the command to run, so that the shell doesn't have to search by itself. Yeah. So if I want to run this list tool and I'm currently within the directory home robot and I want to run this list tool here, yeah, I simply have to give the whole path to the command. Yeah, home robot list, and voila, it works. Yeah, list is a copy of the ls command, so I can simply use list with -l for instance, and it works just like the ls command itself. The same with the hello.sh, with the script. Yeah, within home robot there is something called hello.sh. Let's say I would type in this without a path. Yeah, the error message is hello.sh, command not found. Let's write or give this script with its complete absolute path. Yeah, the shell runs it, finds it. Great. The path here doesn't have to be an absolute path. An absolute path is a path starting with a slash, but you can, if you want, start your path relative from the current directory. Yeah? And I'm currently within the directory home robot, and if I want to start a script, an executable file directly from this current directory, and I want to start this command relative from the current directory, I can use the shortcut for the current directory. Yeah? Within every directory, there really is a directory called dot, and this dot directory is linked directly to the current directory. Yeah? So if you are within a directory and you cd into the directory dot, you end up within the current directory. Yeah? Just because ls-a, please show me everything within the current directory. Please show me the hidden files too. The hidden files are all the files with names starting with a dot. And we have here two files that are, or two hidden files that are directories. And these two files are available within every directory on a Linux system. We have everywhere in every directory a directory dot, and the directory dot is connected to the current directory always. Yeah? And the directory dot dot is connected to the parent directory. So if you want to go to the parent directory, yeah, just use cd dot dot. You already know this. Yeah? And you can use this dot for addressing a file within the current directory. Yeah? Within the current directory, there is a file called, or an executable file called hello.sh. Yeah? Or within the parent directory, dot dot, and there within the robot directory, and there within the tools directory, and there within the parent directory, and there within the current directory, there is an executable file called hello.sh. Yeah. So this is an absolute path, and the user space tools don't know that dot dot is the parent directory, or the dot itself is the current directory. Yeah. The user space tools just use the command or the directory entries, the directory names, just as you give them, and then this is always the parent directory, and this is always the current directory. Yeah. So key takeaway here: the which tool gives you the absolute path of a command you want to run. Yeah, which passvd, which reboot, which ls, yeah, which gives you an absolute path, and the path is looked up by just searching all these predefined paths or directories within the variable path. Yeah, and the second takeaway is that if you want to start a command directly from the current directory, yeah, use the // pattern for this. And this is typically the case if you download something, if you download a software package, something from the internet, and you extract the software package, and within the directory you have just what you have just extracted, there is a script you want to run, and then you typically run this script, the setup script, install script, whatever. You simply start this via // and then the name of the script. Yeah, just keep it in mind. The shell doesn't search by default within the current directory. If you want that the shell searches within the current directory, just extend the path. Just extend the path with the current directory. Yeah. How could you do this? You could simply set the path variable to something like, then let's take the content, the current content of the variable path, and append a colon and a dot. And now the path contains the current directory. The path contains the current directory. And now I don't have to give the dot as the current directory for a script. Yeah. If I see within the current directory there is an executable file, I can just use this executable file as a name to run it without a path. Yeah. But keep in mind, this is a security problem. This could be a security problem. It's not a really good idea to configure the search path with this. Yeah? If the search path contains the current directory, for instance, and you have a spacebar that doesn't work always, so that most of the time or sometimes you just hit, instead of ls space -l, you just would enter ls-l and then you get a command not found. And somewhere someone knows that. Then he could simply create a file, for instance, within the TMP directory called ls-l, and then let's do some wire things within the script, and then let's hope that someday root will be within the TMP directory called ls-l without a properly working spacebar. Yeah, so this is a simple example, yeah, how this could be misused. So it is always a good idea not to have the current directory within the search path. And if you are writing scripts for your system, if you are writing scripts, installing new things onto your system, new executable files, then there is a directory that can be used within your home directory. It's called bin. Yeah. I don't have this bin directory within my current directory, but I could create one mkdir bin, then just move the list command now to bin. Yeah, let's move list to bin. Now within the current directory, the list command isn't available anymore, but within the bin. Yeah, and my home directory, and there the bin directory is the first entry in the path variable, so I can just call list without giving a path for the command to run. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just because which list, just because list is within home robot bin. Yeah, pay attention. You could simply override existing commands by placing a script with the same name into this home robot bin directory here, as an example. Yeah, let's say I create a file. Let's go into bin and let's create a script, an executable file called passwd. And let's say I just type in passwords cannot be changed. Yeah, just a really simple batch file, a script. Yeah, let's make it executable. Change mod +x passwd, and now I'm somewhere else and I enter passwd and I get an error message, or I get a message, passwords cannot be changed. Yeah, and I see why this is the case, which passwd, the shell now runs passwd within my home directory and there within the bin directory. Yeah, so just because shell only searches within these directories, and these directories will be searched in order. So an executable file within home robot bin will be found first, will be executed first. Yeah. So let's remove my bin directory rm-rf, the bin directory here, and now again, which passwd shows me that user bin passwd is now the command that would be started if I enter passwd just as a command. Yeah. So if you want to run scripts, if you want to store scripts for your user account only, then just use this bin directory here within your home directory. Or if you want to store scripts that shall be used from for more usable for all the users on the system, then this directory would be great to place it into user local bin or user local sbin. Yeah. As the other directories here, sbin, bin, user sbin, these directories are directories where the executable files will be installed that come from software packages from your distribution. Yeah. So if you install something, if you install a web server Apache, yeah, sudo apt-get install Apache 2. Yeah, I won't run this now. Yeah, I terminate the command line. But if you install a web server, for instance, then the executable files for this web server will be sorted into these directories, typically user sbin, user bin. Yeah, these are the directories where these executable files will be sorted into. If you copy a file, an executable file by hand, if you create an executable file and script by hand, then the best place to put it in would be user local sbin if it is a system executable for system administration, yeah, just for sorting, or in user local bin if it shall be available for every user on a system. Yeah. Okay, so this was the command, which I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And if you are interested in more such tools like the ones I use here or I showed here, have a look at the Shell Toolbox, shelltoolbox.com, and go to there if you're interested and have a look. And I hope you enjoyed this lesson and perhaps see you next time. Bye.